Good evening, Legonauts. How are you doing on this fine Saturday? I know I said I was going to be doing the stream next week, but I just really got to thinking about it, and it was, I think, too far out. So just decided to make a stream for tonight. So that is the reason why I'm on tonight instead of not next Saturday. But I will be on every Saturday from here on out at this time. So, this is also a test stream just to see if my computer can handle 4K. I figured out what I needed to do for 4K, and I wanted to see if, for future use, streams later on will be all in 1440. This will be a 4K stream just for tonight, and then hopefully when we start building, I'll be using the 4K format. So, all right. Well, let me get some music playing, and we'll get into it. Just give me a second here to randomly start playing a song. And turning my volume down so it probably doesn't sound like an echo before you guys. Alright. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Now, what am I doing? Okay. We'll work with that. Put this over here. Do this. All the off-stream stuff that no one ever sees. Right. I need to get a third monitor now. I got too many screens open. Alright. Alright, let's get into it. So from Wednesday streams, I did go through and figured out a couple different things. I was able to get the basic structure down. This is the hot stage, so I can figure out a connection for the upper stage to sit on. It's not that big of one. It does have, and it's just to hold it on there. It has enough clutch power. It's other than just using a clip. These ones will be using the studs as the clips. With my Sea Dragon design, it was a similar thing, except I had them all coming straight down and connected, and it was solid. So I was thinking about using how to do this without going there, and I think I can put another one right here. Try it. And that one, and then copy it, paste it, and see if, yep, it'll work. So, fortunately I don't have Johnny on tonight in my chat. I can't tell if this is too high or the music's too low. You guys need to let me know if it's too high or too low. And Seems like we're still going pretty good, so I think 4K will work in the future. Uh, and there we are. So, so what this design is, it's the 70th scale Starship. This is the upper stage. They'll be hopefully launching sometime this year, but it is out right now whether it's actually going to launch. It might be next year, might be this year. Nobody knows at this point. Um, but this is the 3 and 3 design. You got the 3 Raptor vacs and then the 3 regular Raptor engines on here. And then you have, and this is the variation on it. I don't know how true this is going to be. I have yet to see an actual uh, vehicle for this concept, but it is a new concept that's out there, is the 9 engine design, where you have 6 Raptor vacs and then the 3 regular Raptor engines. So we'll have to see what if this comes in. I mean, it's just it's not much of a design change, but it's a design change that might end up coming in here on a future build. We'll have to see. But as of right now, we're doing, I believe it's Ship 24's design. The booster the super heavy booster um, that I modeled after was B9. So we'll see what happens with that. But just you're gonna end up seeing my reference photos here, where you have the 3. This is from SpaceX website. You have the 3 Raptor designs, and this was I believe a model of a CAD drawing of booster B10 or something like ship 10, I believe. It still had the landing legs on it, so I would imagine it was somewhere from there. Maybe it wasn't. It's by Raphael Adamy on Twitter. Thought it was on Space Extreme. Pretty good. Alright, so I found a reference video off of NASA space flight. Hide that one. I need to turn my volume down a little bit more. Oh, I can't go any lower. There we go. This is just a reference design. Some things are going to be, but we're just going to hide it for right now. This is what we're going to be working with until they actually make a booster with the 6 engines. That's just going to be considered a concept for the actual Starship. What we're going to do now is we're going to hide the hot stage, and then so the one thing that I was looking at was this was sucked up in there where I thought all the Raptors were all at one level. Once I found the photo, it actually shows that the sea level Raptors in the middle are actually up in the just like how it is on here. So I was mildly surprised when I saw that. Same with these ones. The Raptor vacuum engines are somewhat up in there, up tucked up in, and yeah. So all my levels are roughly the same as the actual. So I was very pleasantly surprised. Um, Now, this design, the way this is going to end up working, and this is where I had to make a compromise because there was no way. I tried different variations, and this was about the only one that I could come up with. Hide that. And the main diameter structure is just going to sit on top here. It's not going to do anything much. I do have to switch things around on here though. I was doing a bit of testing. But I think I'm going to go with this. Copy. Paste. Switch this. Okay, delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Paste this. Copy those. Paste those in there. Okay. And these will be. This should have been twisted. Something like that. This one was a little bit much. Gotta twist it back. Just that. Okay. Now that we got that, the part colors are probably going to end up changing on this. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it as the light bluish gray for all the pieces. I know it's pretty bland and boring, but most of these pieces are pretty cheap in that color, but you can get them. It's just easier to get them in that color, so I just left it as is. Now, what I had to make compromise on was this right here was my main deck structure. Since it's sitting on the top, you're still going to have the connections with the plates going up further, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Is we're going to start doing height, and as you can see, I got my roller right there. Oops. Didn't mean to hide that. I don't think I'm going to need that anymore. I'm actually going to delete these photos. I'm going to copy this, paste it to a different one. Same with my roller. Excuse me. Yeah, and I apologize ahead of time if I start coughing. I am going to try to mute myself. I cut grass today, and whatever the rain brought in this past week here is affecting my asthma. I was having a hard time breathing earlier today. It could also be that I'm pretty much tired. I have been up for over 24 hours, so we'll just work around it and see what we can do. See what I can do. Okay. So we're going to hide that for right now, and then I think I'm going to just delete the hot stage. Show all. And by doing that it just gives me the ability to get everything on the same level as my bottom piece right there. So that way I don't have to keep messing around with it and trying to figure everything out. Now, something that I do want to show is you can also, and here's the thing about these reference photos that you can bring in. This is why it makes it so much nicer since they added this feature to Studio. Uh, let me, is that I can do this reference photos by the same guy that did the other one. We're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and then we can blow this image up right here. Nope. There we go. Missed it. It's the blue dot. We can blow this image up, and that's way too big. And what we're trying to do is, what I want to do is try to keep that tip right on the bottom of that plate. And for the bottom, I'm looking at the bottom edge right there. And just drag. This might take some time to do, but you can do it. And if your tip stayed at the top, which it did not, just a little bit more. Just a tiny bit more, and there we go. Should be good. Now what we can do is we can take those two, do that, move it. It shrunk it. Okay, well, that's not a big deal. Oh, no, it didn't. It's that jumbo size glitch. So if you select both of these and move it, see how big it gets? That's the Duplo jumbo size glitch that this thing has. And then it stays there. Oh. Excuse me. Alright. So I guess we'll have to do this independently. Which is fine. There's no big rush. Make sure that's on a stud, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, oh, that's not what I want. I wanted the other one. There we go. I'm going to do this, bring it here. First, I think we're going to do it like that. That way it splits that, and we're going to make sure that line is right there. Make sure our bottom line is good with this line. It's close enough. It'll work. And now we just need to move it over. Alright. try to center. I'm going to use this downcomer pipe on the plans as a center, or at least try to, with the center of, oh, we can do that one. There we go. And then we just line everything up to the center. Now, it's not exact, but this doesn't need to be exact. What we're doing here is we're going to do a side. We're going to take this, if the cursor will work. And we're just going to, we're probably going to put it on the side here. So we can always move this back now. Keep it right there. Alright. So, what I'm doing is I want to get the height of the actual cylinder to, say, the bottom of here, but right before the cone decides to start tapering in. So, I mean, it might not look it, but yeah, I want to say that's where the starting point of that taper is that line right there. So if we can get plate up to there, we should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these. Until just keep going up until I reach that height. And then you're just going to want to do one for right now. And I'm just going to grab an extra slope curve. Because I'm getting close to that this top line right here. So we're going to see if it's grab a 4x4 plate. That's really close. Perfect. Because if I go to a 3, or try to do a 3, let me change that to black. If I were to try to do a 3, that would be the top of the plate right there at the bottom of this 1x3. So it'd be too short. Even though this one is just slightly taller, you're talking maybe 2 millimeters, it will work. Our original height, actually I'll open that up. Dimension, yeah, that's the one. Go back to our check off board. Our full rocket height, actually this number is wrong because I added in the hot stage. This was for the original 200 and something meters, and now it's, let me get on SpaceX. There we go. My music's turned off again. Oh, it reached the bottom. Alright. Next page. Sure. Alright. Copy. I need to do the scale conversion real quick. Where's my calculator? Okay, actually that is the correct height. I swore they updated. I had original numbers, but that is with the hot stage, that number right there. So that is actually the correct height. But here's the thing about this height. If you go and add this number to this number, we have about a 6 plate difference, and of course I just closed out my calculator. Ooh, jumbo size. Okay. So the 536, wait, no, excuse me. We're going to do 307.56 225 plus 223.169. Yeah. We're going to have about a five and a half plate variance from this number versus these other numbers. Let me just double check something. Yeah, it's with the hot stage. 266. And it's always good to go back and double check yourself in case something does end up changing. You can just go in and calculate. Clear out that. 158. Okay. That number changed. This number here is no longer the same. Let's see, something plus 223. Something's not right. Anyway, all right. There's enough of that. The two numbers are within six plates height. of each other. And it's not that big of a deal. We have a little bit of buffer, um, which is what I was hoping for. We can exit out of that. Don't save. We can exit out of that. Now that we got our height, um, delete that. Now we got to figure out how we're going to start doing this, the cone. But that's going to be a completely different episode. We're just going to build the structure up to this point tonight, or get most of it built. I'm probably going to have to do a lot of off screen work, just to finish the structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a new model. That's in the wrong folder. There we go. Starship. I'm going to save it as Starship height. So I can mess around with it. So if for whatever reason Studio decides to act up on me, and I at least have I can at least go back to this save point and worry about it later. So, and I'm going to hide that. I'm going to hide my height, my roller, excuse me, for right now. And what I'm going to do is essentially just fill in the gaps. So a lot of copy and pasting. And you can also Control V for paste. So there we go. Make it a lot easier. If I can hit the right buttons. So used to doing everything with using key commands is something's new, but it does make life a little bit easier. And we just do this all the way up. I'll go back and just go here, go right down. Down through here. Move this one back over. I need the singles. And I am not going to do the center right now. What I am going to do is if you have a numpad, you want to hit 5. And that will give you a complete top-down view. And it is, we are going to do this real quick, and you can move out of it. And then before you do that, make sure the correct parts are selected. Sometimes you have to deselect them like I was just doing. And that seems to be about it. Create it, and then we're going to name it side for right now. this will end up having 4 of the same sides. The 2 front and back are going to probably be different or the same, and then the left and right for the wings are probably going to be the ailerons or whatever you want to call them are going to be the same. So you'll only have to do legitimately probably half the vehicle for right now. Alright, and I do want to, we are going to open up the booster. Super heavy booster. Because I need a part out of there. And with everything on here, if it'll let me turn upper volume. Okay. We're just going to hide pretty much everything. What I'm looking for is this and that. Copy. And then we're just going to transfer that right over here. Exit out of that, don't save. And we're going to see what we can do. The height. And if we get lucky, we won't have to do much. That goes right there, I think. We're going to go right there, and then release, creating this new. And if you do a release and create in a new, actually, I did that wrong. So we're going to Control Z. We're going to go into this submodel, not that one. These 3, we're going to release all. And then we're going to go here, and then we're going to release this one. And then what we'll do is we'll call this, create a new submodel, call this bracket or something. So it doesn't matter. We could have just left it as submodel 1, and that would have been fine. Now what we can do, so I can go in here and delete that. Copy, oh, not that, this, just so we can get our height. Maybe, come on, stop fussing. And, go up 1 more. No. Can't do that. See, this height won't work. That's fine. I don't think we're going to need a bracket in there. So we'll just leave it like that. Excuse me. We'll just leave it like that. There just won't be, and this is a compromise that you'll have to make sometimes. I just can't get the full height with what I need. Now, if it was an extra stud up higher, I could have reworked all this, but just to simplify things, we're just gonna do that. I mean, the structure's still there. Um, these 4x plates really are going to hold this entire thing together. So, and then what we can do is just again copy and paste. Everything is pretty much just copy and paste. Plus you also have the bonus, you already did most of the work. It was just adjusting to this. If I can, doesn't want to, if it wants to cooperate with me tonight. Yeah, they really need to update the coordinate system. I know it's just, that's the main part of the program, and it's probably never going to happen unless they bring out a whole new version of Studio. But the coordinate system is really screwy. Just double checking to make sure my heights are correct here. Again, you're just copy and pasting all the way around. But you can also see how boring the instructions are going to be. A lot of it's just going to be repetitive for most of the instructions. If we ever get to that part, well, I shouldn't say if. When we get to that part, you'll see when I start creating the instructions for this. What I do need to do is I need to go back in here and change something around once I get these in here. Okay, and then which one is it? Was those ones? It's this one I need to change. Go plate, modified bracket. And the same for the other side, which is covered. And delete. And that's all. Actually, there is another way you could do this. I'm going to show you that other way. Instead of deleting them, what you could do is select, go up here to the replace, and go from click to suggested, go down, and then you could actually find the bracket in here and replace them. The only thing that you would need to do is make sure you go back to insert when you're done. Is just change the color, but it will automatically replace those two pieces that you have if you go in here to the replace tab underneath the menu. show all, and there you have it. There's that. Now I'm going to hide this again. I'm going to hide my height roller again. What I'm going to do is copy. How is that? Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to change this over to here. And then I want to select everything. And then I'm going to hit Shift with the left arrow key to rotate. Now what that'll do is when I show it, now these areas that had the extra support are all on my sides, and I don't understand why that didn't do that. Usually when you have same submodel group number or name, it was supposed to change. That's why I'm noticing that. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to go in each one of these. Change it. Okay. This one I need to change. Replace that. Change the color. Return to main model. Same thing for these four. And there we go. All right. In actuality, it might be better to make these top ones all these brackets. If I can find them in this, there we go. And that one. And I deselected all of it. Okay, go click insert again. Now I gotta go back and click all these and change them to that color. The reason I changed them to that color is because dark bluish gray costs literally 5 cents and light bluish gray is 6, but if you round up 7 cents, so the light bluish gray is actually 2 cents more than these ones. So it's just cost savings in the long run. I'm just trying to limit the price on it. So, okay, hide the roller one more time, and then what I want to do is copy this, paste it, and we're going to take it from the top, and then make sure our height is right, which it should be. Okay. Then we're going to do this again, but this time we're going to call this, we're going to release this, create it, and then we're going to call this side 2. And hit OK. So, and then this is going to sit there. We're going to copy that, flip it around, make sure we're on the money, and then so essentially these ones are going to be the flaps or the ailerons, or the control surfaces. Those are our two sides. These are going to end up probably having pipe. I'll have to rework these like I did for the booster. So all these, hide this real quick. A lot of these are going to probably turn into the 2x2, 1x2x2 brackets, like these dark grayish ones, just so I can get the piping to go up and down on it to work right. Trying to think. We're going there. Yeah. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the piping on Starship is only on the one side. So in reality, only 3 of them really need to change. So I'm going to keep that like that. I'm going to show all. Actually, gonna hide this again, hide this, and it's just a lot of back and forth and massaging until you get what you want. So front, we're going to release this one and create a new submodel, and then we're going to name it side pipes. Okay, now that's completely different from this one, and then we're just going to copy and paste these. Making sure they are on there right, and it is. Same thing with this. Come down right there. And it looks like we're good. So now we have pretty much a full and solid structure all the way up. This might end up changing. As of right now, I'm going to leave this as a whole. I might end up changing this top around later down the line to incorporate a plate, kind of like how it is down here. Just for the top, just so. But really, it doesn't need it right now, but it can change. But the most important thing is that I can go here. I know what side 2. So actually, I can come in and rename these. We're gonna name it side flaps. Actually, side control surfaces. Hit OK. Now you're going to get a pop-up dialog, and anything that's linked to this, you want to hit yes. So this one and this one. That should have changed along with it, and it didn't. So we're going to try this again. We're going to go ahead, rename side control surfaces. okay, and then I'm going to read it. Okay, I hit yes. You need to hit, if you want to change the name of the two, you're going to hit no, rename all. That was my mistake, I was going too fast. And so when you click on the other side, it should be side control surfaces. So So now that we have our naming done, and these sides are just going to be called side 2, there's nothing fancy to them. Got side 2, and you probably can't even see this, I just realized that. Oh, maybe you can. Huh. Interesting. I did not realize that my screen was there we go, something like that. It resized it. So and actually for right now, actually we can skin this, and I'm just gonna do it just like how I did the booster. We're gonna go down here and grab the 2x4 tile. And this is going to be the important part, why you should, if you're doing multiple of the same submodel, is having them underneath the right name. And I'll show you that here in a second once I get this all on here. Return to main. Every single one of those that I have underneath that name just got tiled and surfaced with just that one I just did. So I know which ones I need to pipe on. I know my control surfaces sides. And chances are these sides are probably going to end up changing, depending on how I do the flaps and the way I want it the look for them. Ooh, it's almost bedtime, and it's almost time for this stream to end. So, but we got everything, and then quick look underneath just to show you what it looked like. And I think we got a lot done tonight. So, but yeah, I mean, when you're designing and everything, you're gonna have to compromise on a certain technique. You're gonna have compromises in design and details. What details you want to keep versus what you can keep. You're gonna have different, and if you want different and that's the other thing I didn't go over, were the different variations. I'll get to that right before we leave. And you're gonna have multiple iterations. You can have as many as 20 different iterations of the same thing that changes, that have different changes, or you find better techniques or better pieces come out through Lego. I mean, this technique I didn't find in my Sea Dragon design. Went through 3 different iteration changes before I was really happy with it, the way it came out. The other and and it depends on how many variations of the same model you're going to do. This is what I forgot to mention, because this is the variations that I wanted to do, and I will bring in that reference photo. And this reference photo I got from Everyday Astronaut. His team does an amazing job at doing these, and they really get the turn it around. They really get their information correct. I mean, they're able to dull down the information to where and that's where he has his name. That way, everyday people like you and I can understand the science behind the rocket science. So, and these are the different variations that we know of that were explained early on. We know the tanker version isn't going to have any flaps in it. As far as I know, once it goes up, they're just going to destroy it. It's going to look more like the deep space. I am not going to be doing this. I might end up doing it. I don't know. This is on the low end, but this is what we're going to be creating for right now. Is this variation of the tank of the upper stage. What I plan on turning the upper stage eventually into is I would love to do the lunar variant of it, and then be able to set the lunar variant off to the side of the whole display. I again would love to be able to do the crew variant of it, which goes to this point right here, and then it just has the windows. But for right now, we're going to be doing this tanker variation of it, and then really the only thing the lunar has that the tanker variation doesn't, it doesn't have the flaps on it, and it has the bigger aero covers on it. So a lot of this is going to be sticker, which I do want to end up showing on how to create your own stickers, or if we can try to mimic the holes and the solar panels, depending on how we do our cone. With this, and then it's just really just switching out, swapping colors from that point. But first, we're going to be working just on this, just to get this completed, and then I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like all together. This will probably be another 2 or 3 weeks in design, and then hopefully by Halloween we'll have a completed Starship sitting on the booster and in the digital. Then we're going to be switching our attention to the tower. I've been holding off on the tower from doing any more detail work, because I feel that's what most people like to watch, is to see how a lot of people do their detail work. I didn't show how I got the tower structure, and it's pretty much all geometry at that point. But the detail work is something that I'm looking forward to possibly doing, eventually doing with everybody. And then the detail work will be from October to the end of the year, with the goal of having the entire design done by January 1st, so I can actually start purchasing pieces and getting ready for hopefully Brick Rodeo. Um, Things are starting to shape up the way I was hoping to. Um, Without going into too much detail, I've been jobless for pretty much the past 2.5 years. Been looking for a job, and I had a really good interview, well, pre-screen interview, and I'm hoping that I end up getting that job. Um, but yeah, we have goals. Got to set some goals, and Brick Rodeo is definitely in Austin, Texas. Is a goal that I want to do, and be able to go on vacation next year down there to show this off. So, all right, everybody. Uh, I believe that's about it. Don't need that photo anymore. We're gonna delete that. Okay, we're gonna show all. So, as you can see, we're pretty much right there. We are on the smallish side according to this photo, but this is a render done by a third party. Uh-oh. I got locked. There we go. So the diameters aren't going to exactly match. Um, Again, this is just a reference to get the curvature. I do believe on this the curvature is pretty well done. So we're just going to do this curvature for the nose cone. And then we're going to have to see how we're going to do the nose cone. I believe that's probably going to be the next episode, next Saturday at 8. So, yeah. Alright, everybody. I hope you have a good weekend and a good night. And we'll see you next week.